Hey everyone, just want to share a few things with you regarding everything that's happening in light of the recent events with George Floyd, the Black Lives Matter movement, and genuinely how people are feeling, how I'm feeling as well. I'm going to share a story with you, and this story is the first time I realized that I was black. It was raining. I remember that my mum and dad said I could go to school on my own. I was in primary school, and at the end of school, two boys ran past me and they punched me in the stomach, and they were calling me all sorts of names in relation to the colour of my skin. I was on the floor, I was crying, really upset, and I remember those boys running away, just laughing, pleased with themselves at making me feel horrible, making me feel small, making me realize that the color of my skin is not good, is a problem. I remember going back home, running underneath my bed, and my dad coming back home from work, and he was calling out my name. And he found me under the bed crying, and he was like, "Dan, what's the matter?" And I remember saying to my dad, "I want to be white." And he was like, "What?" I went, "Dad, I want to be white." And he said, "Why?" And I told him the incident that happened at school. And my dad gave me a talking to, and he said, "Dan, you have to be proud of who you are. You have to be proud of the colour of your skin, and don't let anyone tell you anything different. Be proud of who you are, Daniel." And how many years later, here we are in 2020, and unfortunately, what happened to George Floyd has brought up a lot of hurt and pain within the black community. So when I saw the George Floyd incident, it brought back those memories, and I've had many more incidents like that. I suppose that was the first incident I realised that my colour is a problem for other people. But despite of that, I think it's important to look at how do we move forward in this period of hurt and pain and confusion, because it's a very challenging subject. And I just want to say that it's important to listen, it's important to understand where people are coming from, and everybody is equal. Everybody is equal in this world. Some people don't see it like that, but I think we have to see everybody as equal. Friends, family, colleagues, people come from different countries. We're sharing the world together. And I'm just sharing that story with you just to let you know that even though I am hurting, I'm still in a position to go, how can we move forward now? How can we teach young people, older people about race, about equality? But that's my story. If we're to move forward with this issue and look at solutions, we firstly have to understand what racism is and how we can prevent it and look out for it. So what is racism? Racism is the belief that one race is superior or inferior to another. It's rooted in the idea that your physical and biological characteristics determine what kind of person you are, for better or for worse. It almost seems unreal that another person would be considered less than because of the colour of their skin, their language, customs, or places of birth. But this is something that has to be addressed, and this is a real thing that people, the world, are going through today. So how can we respond? There are no quick fixes to this. This has been going on for centuries. But I think it's important that we listen, that we learn, and that we lead. So firstly, listening. If you know that someone's going through something, or you've got a group of friends that are for different race, culture, they've got different experiences, it's important to listen to their stories. Just like I shared my story with you today, you've listened, so you've got an insight into what I've been through. And when we listen to people, we're able to empathize with their story, especially if those stories are hurtful. We need to learn. There's so much resources online, from people as well, in books, that you can understand racism a lot more. You can understand the history of racism and how it's affected people throughout the world. Also on the Grace Foundation website, we've got a lot of resources about racism that you can read on and just educate yourself on what this thing actually is. The next thing is lead. Yep, leading is important. If we see something that's happening in our world that is not right, that's against the law, because racism is a hate crime, it is against the law. If you see any activity that is racist, it's important to step in. It's important to say something. Not get involved physically maybe, but to speak to someone who can do something about it, whether that's the police, a teacher, older adults, a friend. It's important that we address this issue. So it's important to lead when we see these injustices happen. So that's listening, that's learning, and that's leading. Guys, I hope you've learned something today about racism and that you've got a glimpse into my story as well. If you want more information about this, we've got plenty of resources on our Grace Foundation website. That's www.grace-foundation.org.uk. My name is Daniel Anderson. Thank you for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.